And hello, everybody, live on Zoom with me. This is Cultivate Inner Strength. Okay, so really getting deeply invested in where our power comes from, our power source here, the third chakra. When we have balanced first and second chakras, these are the more physical chakras, we feel grounded or connected to the earth. I belong on the earth, I have a right to be here. When you firmly believe that, then you start to move into the second chakra where I have the right to feel my own feelings. When we firmly believe that, we have the confidence and courage to act in ways that are beneficial both for us and for the people around us. So that is our power source. This energy, strength center, the third chakra, is where we want to concentrate today in building not only immunity from outside information, but build immunity from the despair that comes from comparing our situation to somebody else's situation. That's always going to put you in despair. Judgment and comparison are disparaging actions or disparaging, say, virtues, characteristics. So instead, building virtue of unity. Unity is that powerful virtue that brings great strength, and it's also inclusive. It brings people together. We see our commonality without devaluing our differences. And that's what we're talking about here, is the comparison devalues our differences instead of valuing the way people show up. So if you think in your own mind, valuing the way you show up on your mat is a practice for you then to value the way other people show up. We experience our connectedness with all people and all life. Unity frees us from the divisiveness of prejudice and heals our fears. And wow, couldn't we all use a bit of that? And it really starts from the ground up, the grassroots, us being in our own sovereignty, our own emotional sovereignty, responsible for how our feelings are put into actions. Our emotions are feelings in action. Even though we feel anger, hurt, frustration, how do we put those to good use, right? Those are all not bad emotions, but they're emotions that can be an impetus for us to seek ways in which to act that are beneficial in our own life and for others. Unity frees us from the divisiveness and prejudice and heals our fears. We refuse to engage in conflict, seeking peace in all circumstances. Unity comes from when we value every person in our family and in our world. The joy of one is the joy of all. The hurt of one is the hurt of all. The honor of one is the honor of all. We can celebrate what the joyfulness that we see in other people. We can seek to mitigate the hurt that we see in other people because it hurts our spirit as well. We can seek internally how we are promoting that hurt for other people, and just pausing to assess the cultural normity of how we perceive things, and perhaps look at it from a different perspective. I want to create this. It is a courageous act to seek understanding outside ourselves and unify our own home, family, and seek harmony. Because it means that we have to set our ego aside and say that, and look for ways in which we can contribute to the solution versus being part of the problem. And that really takes great courage to look inward. So the invitation today is to build that inner strength that allows us to seek inward reflection on how we show up. Okay. So we'll start with just some movement in a circular motion, using your oblique muscles, using the power of the solar plexus, and waking up the energy in the midsection. Now let's reverse that action. Unwind the tethers of cultural normity so we can see clearly and create a perspective that is unifying to all race, creed, belief, religion. There is allowance for all to freely feel their own feelings. And this is a deep healing can happen when we really understand that. Let's dive in. Inhale, come up for air, and exhale through a straw. Inhale. Serpentine the spine, exhale. Again. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Forward. A little bit faster. 5 more. 4. 3. 1. Lift straight up through the spine, bring the hands together in Anjali Mudra. Pads of the fingers pressing together to ignite the energy in the forearm. And press down slightly, elbows wide. Take a full breath, heart centered into the thumbs. Exhale deeply. 2 more breaths, inhale. And exhale. 1 more. And then we'll flip the fingers down. So our Anjali is upside down, looking straight at the base of the palm. Pad of the thumb and pad of the pinky finger are touching. Now, if this middle point right here, if they're touching together, is most likely because we're relaxed in the fingers. If you push the fingers together into each other, creating some resistance, you're going to see a little hollowness. Now attach the knuckles together, press the pads of the fingers, and then lift as much as you can and to stretch the forearm. You're lifting the fingers. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So I'm actually parallel to the floor right now. And I have a big hollow space I could blow into in between the palms of the hands. And then release that, interlace the fingers and rotate through the wrist. I want to recreate that hollowness when we plant the hands to the earth in our chaturangas and our arm balancing today. Let's unlace and relace with the opposite thumb forward. Again, take that figure 8. And then we're going to come into a downward facing dog, crossing the legs behind, plant the hands to the earth, lift the hips. In a downward facing dog, inhale, come forward with the shoulders slightly, bend the knees, take the feet a little wider. Tilt the sit bones up to the sky and then let the heart melt between the pillars of the arms. The arm bones slide into the shoulder socket, so it's coming towards the back body. Shoulder blades towards the spine. Deep breath in, belly is firm. We'll tuck the shirt in here. There we go. And straighten the legs and press all the way through to a downward dog. A little bit wider in the leg position. And then bring the knees to the floor. And we'll flip the right hand so the fingers are facing you, pressing down. And again, you want to have a little slight lift or elevation pull through the pad of the hand. Shift back in your seat. So we get a stretch through the forearm. For arm balancing today, we're opening the wrist. Often arm balances require that 90-degree bend in the wrist, which for some friends is quite taxing. And you could even take this into a down dog here. And now I've warmed up. This feels a little bit better than earlier this morning. And some friends are going to really want to keep the knees on the earth. Peel the hand back. Everybody's knees on the earth and shake the wrist out. And we'll take that to the opposite side. Flip the left fingertips towards you. Palm to the mat. Slide back slightly. Bend the elbow. And stretch the forearm. Again, toes turn under. If you'd like to take that into down dog and you have the flexibility to keep the strength and feel the length, then do so. Okay, otherwise, knees on the ground, and especially if the shoulder is in front of the wrist here, don't take a downward facing dog. That would impede your progress. We're going to peel back and release that again. And sit back on your heels in a screaming toe position. Bring the forearms together and let's take another figure eight with the hands. And reverse any action. Shake the wrists out. Take a downward facing dog. All the way back. In and step your feet forward to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Push down through the feet, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together and exhale, hands to the heart center. We'll do that again. The arms are going to come wide. Inhale, overhead. Palms together at the forehead as you exhale. And then bring the fingertips to the lips. And then to the heart. And then make a diamond shape over the belly. Breathe in, breathe out, release. And let's do that again. Inhale. And we come into our mind's eye. Use our intuition. Speak our truth. Fingertips to the lips. Move. Take that action from the heart with a balanced first, second, third chakra. One more time. Inhale. Overhead. Bring the fingertips to the forehead, to the lips, into the heart, and right into the belly. And then release. Come overhead. Take a forward fold. Straight down to the earth. Inhale, half lift. Exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale through our downward dog into chaturanga. All the way down to the belly. Inhale, upward facing dog, or just a low cobra serpentine back and forth. And then exhale, back into downward facing dog. I want to get the chaturanga action for you broken out a little bit. So come through, hold staff pose here, four-legged staff pose. Arm bones in the shoulder socket, broaden through the clavicle if you can. So widening the shoulders, then hug the forearms towards each other and lift the belly. Okay, bring the knees to the floor, lower down. As you shift forward, the elbows come into a 90-degree bend. Right here, shoulders are broad, and then press back up. Let's do it again. Exhale, lower down, and press back up, knuckles to the ground. The earthy with the pads of the fingers, and then drop all the way to the floor. And then flip over onto your back. So just like a pancake. You flip over onto the back. Bring the arms straight out. So we'll do that again, just like we're in plank pose. The hands forward out from the chest, shoulder width apart. Forearms hugging in, shoulders broadening and pulling towards the earth. So the back of the shoulder, this arm bone in the shoulder socket is coming straight down into your mat on both sides. You want to keep it there, heart lifted. Then we're going to bend the elbows, tone the navel, pulling up pubic bone towards the navel. Bend the elbows and the wrists stay steady. And we come all the way to the floor and push into the floor. Broaden the clavicle, the head is straight. Gaze up at the ceiling. This is an upside down chaturanga. Now claw the earth with your finger paws. Tiger paws, fingers pressing in to an invisible ceiling. And then straighten the elbows back up. That's one, and then we'll push up again. Elbows coming in, not out, and then press back up. And because we're a open chain here, the arms are moving instead of the torso, but imagine hands connected to the floor, and then when you bend, the torso comes slowly towards the floor without a crease or bend in the low back. So the navel is pulling towards the back body. And then press back up. And then we'll shake the wrists out, and we'll flip it again over to the front side, and we'll take our chaturanga once again, coming into the top of a push-up here. The knees are lifted. Let's shift the feet forward and back. So the feet are what propel the head forward. And see, as we bend the elbows stay straight over the wrist. Shoulders are broadening. You could bring the knees to the floor. That works just as well. And we lower halfway and then press back up. Take a little break. We're going to try that twice more. It's really important that we build strength from the inside out. Think about what you're feeling, and as you feel that shakiness, as we bend the elbows and we come here and we broaden the shoulders, try not to collapse, lift the low belly. Full cooperative effort through the whole body creates inner strength. Sit back on the heels one more time, coming forward. Top of a push-up, knees on the floor or off. Exhale, lower down halfway. For our final chaturanga, press back up and sit back on the heels. Excellent. Come into downward facing dog. Let's take that into a vinyasa flow. From here, hog plank, lower down chaturanga. The trajectory of the crown of the head is forward. Release the hips. Peel the shoulders back. Inhale, low cobra or a full upward dog. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then step the feet forward to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop in and down. And this is Uttanasana, forward fold. We're going to take this in a different style. Inhale, half lift. Bend your knees slightly so the hips are back. Bring your hands to the outside of the shin. So hands outside the shin. We're going to push the shins in and then pull the thighs wide. So you create some space in the sacrum area. We widen and broaden the sit bones. Shins in, thighs wide, chest and heart forward, holding that steady. And then lift the hips, push the floor away, and drop the forehead to the floor. Still pushing shins in, thighs wide. So we open up the backside of the legs in a very healthy, energetic way. One more breath. Coming out of that the same way you came in, with a little bend in the knee. Hands to the floor. Lift, bring the hands to the waist. Inhale, come all the way to standing. And shake the legs out. Really nice. Inhale, the arms overhead. Take a hold of the wrist. Exhale over to your right. And nice, easy spinal half moon. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center again. Exhale to the right. And back to center. Pull it all the way up. And exhale to the left. And bring it back to center. Now, if you're at the top of the mat, you're going to take a big hop to the side. So your right leg's going to come out. And we'll just jump and bring the feet wide. Toes turned out in goddess pose. And we'll bring the arms out here with tiger paws. Open the chest. So we feel like a fierce feminine form of Durga. Inhale, open the heart, looking up. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close, little cat cow. And exhale. One more time. Then we're going to reverse the breath. So the exhale will be here. So take your breath in, exhale. Inhale, round the back. Exhale, Kali style with lion's breath. Inhale, exhale. Get fierce with this, inner strength, building stamina. Inhale. A little faster. 5 more. 4 more. 2. Last 1. Get deep. Thighs parallel, deep into the strength of the quads, pressing down through the feet. Holding the palms open. Lift the heels. Sit a little bit deeper. Open the heart. Inhale. Heels lift. Exhale. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, heels lift. Exhale, round. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Hold. Bring the hands down to the knees, shifting side to side. And lift all the way back up into Tarasana, star pose. And bring the hands and feet together. On the top of the mat, full vessel mudra. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bring the hands to your heart. Let's take it to the top of your mat again. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Opening up the posterior chain. We're going to walk the left foot back into pyramid. Let's take a low lunge. Let's take a low lunge. So we'll take a pyramid in a moment. So just shifting side to side, opening that hip flexor a little bit more. Inhale, raise the hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the hip. Exhale, lower. Now push the floor away, strong into the mat with the right leg. Exhale, pull the shin forward, the heel back. Inhale, push the shin back, the foot forward. One more time. Here. And as you bend the knee, push off with the back foot, bring your left leg forward and your right leg back. Same thing, deep bend, hips lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, straighten the front leg, lift the hip, exhale, lower. 3 more. 2 more. Stay steady with the breath. Power in the legs. Last one. Step forward with the right foot and back with the left. Little shorter stance this time, pyramid. If you need a block, bring a block inside the right ankle. Lift the right toes. So we're flexing. We're going to draw the heel back and raise the right sit bone. So there's an inner tone to the inner thigh, inner spiral, widening the hip back. Use the block to keep the legs straight. So if you're here in a collapsed position trying to get to the floor, raise up. Pay more attention to this upper body alignment. So the spine is straight and flat. The hands have something to hold on to. That's the block. And then take it in and down. Let's release the big toe or mound of the foot to the floor. We get an even deeper stretch through the back body. 3. It's already 2 breaths. 1 more. Bend the front knee, shift the weight onto the right leg and come into a standing split. So your back leg raises hip height or possibly goes to the ceiling. You wrap around right hand around the ankle, left hand to it. If you want to find a little balance point here. Hold 3, hold 2, and 1. Bring the hands to the floor, lift up, and lower the left leg to the ground. Inhale, hands to the waist, elbows to the sky. Press down through the heels and come all the way to standing. Bring the arms overhead. Inhale. Full vessel mudra. Exhale, straight down the middle, forward fold. That should feel a little bit awkward. Right leg might be a little longer than the left. So we're going to even that out. Step the right leg back into pyramid. Lift the toes, so flexing the foot, dig the heel in and draw the left sit bone back. We're here for a good few minutes. Few breaths, maybe 6 or 8. Holding horizontal with the spine. So I'm actually elevated and I'm working more on this front heel, digging into the floor and pulling back with the left sit bone. So we're spreading and widening the hamstring, and you can even use the hand to help support that widening or blossoming of the buttocks. And then take the mound of the toe down. Inhale, stretch out over the front foot. And exhale, forward bow. So the sacrum is flat and even. Try not to raise the right hip. Slope is flat and even. So we're rotating the right hip forward, right toes point forward, and my feet are on separate train tracks, and I'm flowing in. So just check out that alignment. That's already 3 breaths. Bend the front knee. Let's shift the weight forward. Using your block, hands to the block. This is a split, but we're vertical. So the right leg shoots to the sky, the heel lifting, the head coming forward, and we're going to duck the chest to thigh, the forehead to the shin, and then wrap the hand around the ankle, possibly in a single leg stance, balance here, action. And then release. That's already 3 breaths. Lower the right leg to the floor. Exhale, forward fold. This time wrap the hands around the backside, clasping the hands together, and then squeeze the shins in with your forearms. Press the thighs against the forearms, outward. So the thighs up here are pulling wide. The shins are squeezing and hugging in, and we're using the arms as a soundboard, so we can really fully express the strength of the legs from the inside out. Power in the feet, lift the hips up, shift the weight forward into the balls of the feet, so it's not so much tipping back into the heels. One more breath. And then release. Hands come to the earth. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, one hand at a time, coming to the waist. And then press down through the feet. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Very good. Let's raise the arms up. Again. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the left leg back. So your right leg's forward. We're coming into a really strong low lunge position. Back knee on the floor. Root down through the front heel and the back knee, and then hug towards center line. Hook the thumbs. Reach all the way overhead. Half moon crescent here. We're going to use that same energy, hugging your forearms in with the hook of the thumb. And then you're pulling wide or broad through the shoulder, holding 3 breaths. That's already 2. Let's take that one more. Now that you've got that stance, and then release the hand to the floor, elbow to the thigh. So right elbow here, left hand is even with your right foot. You'll lift the hips back gently, and then slide the right leg all the way back to the back edge of your mat and bring your right arm overhead in Vasisthasana. So we're kickstanding the back foot. I'm going to shift a little bit so I'm square in my mat. Raise the right arm vertical to the sky. Raise the right leg horizontal to the floor. Then come back to that start position where they're moving away from each other. Right hand forward, right toe touches. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Again, inhale, lift. In union, exhale, lower. Together. Power in your core, lower. Inhale, lift, hold, bend the top leg and reach around. Clasp the top of the foot and then press. We're opening up the quad here. Shoulder open. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more full deep breath. And then release the leg. Bring the arm all the way around, circle to the floor, foot on the floor. And we're square to the mat. Lift into a downward facing dog. Both feet parallel. Press all the way back. Heels towards the floor. Inhale, come into the top of a push-up. Propel yourself forward with your toes. Bend the elbows and lower down, chaturanga. Pause here, shoulders broad. Inhale, upward facing dog. Shoulders behind the wrists. Exhale, all the way back into downward facing dog. Raise the right leg. Let's see, did we start? Let's raise the left leg, sorry. Left leg, right leg down, left leg up, bend the knee, open the hip. Rotate through the ankle. And then we'll step the left leg all the way forward. Here. Pause in this low lunge. We're going to get that full deep extension. And then shift a little pulse forward and back. You're going to push off with the back toes, push down with the front foot, and lift the hips to come forward. Again in our Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to standing. And we'll do that again to the other side. Palms together, the heart center. Re-ground yourself. Reset with a deep breath. Inhale the arms. Come up and overhead. And then forward fold in any fashion. If you'd like to bend the knees, bend the knees. Make it comfortable for your body. This time, Step the right leg to the back edge of the mat and bring the knee gently to the floor. With some power and strength in your front leg to support, you're going to use that glute to tuck under, your back knee hugging towards the front heel. Hook the thumbs, then reach the arms overhead. With the thumbs hooked, our forearms are hugging together. Then broaden the shoulders, lift the heart, and pull an internal lift, pelvic floor, and the navel towards the spine to protect your low back. So this becomes a back extension versus a sinking in the low back. Well, it's already great. One more breath. Release the hands to the floor, left hand to the knee, right hand even with your left foot. And we'll take it back. Left leg comes to the back edge of your mat and open into side plank. Circle the top arm, forward bicep to the ear. Then inhale, bring the arm vertical. Exhale, raise the leg horizontal to it. So they're at right ankles. Inhale, exhale, lower it back to the earth. Inhale, lift both in tandem. Unison, exhale, lower. They're working together. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Cooperative effort, whole body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more time, lift. Bend the front top leg, reach around, clasp the foot, and open the heart and chest. There's a lot of resistance, the foot pushing in the hand. The hand is stabilizing the foot. That's already 2 breaths, one more. And then just for good measure, see if it can really kick and hold that, create that inner strength. Release and come to the earth. Shoulders and hips squaring to the floor, downward facing dog. Promote right effort here. Inhale, come into the top of a push-up. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hips lift, thighs wide. From here, let's bring your right leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. We come into that 3-legged Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Step through to a low lunge and pause here, keeping the hips lower. Press your left heel back and your front shin forward. So we deepen that split, because this is where we're going in a standing position. And then we'll bring it back down to the floor in an arm balance. Fun stuff. Push off with the back foot, come forward, inhale, half lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way to standing. And I'm so grateful that we have an hour and 15 minutes in this class to really promote a progression that helps us in a healthy way get into a very deep arm balancing posture. So we'll come to standing. And then if you have a wall to be against, then stand so the hand is just touching the wall on either side of you, so near the shoulder. I'm not going to be using a wall. You could also use a strap here. We'll shift the weight to the left leg and bring the right knee in, holding the knee. The purpose of this is just find your balance. The knee pushing forward, the hands pulling back, and then left foot anchoring into the earth to lift through the crown of the head. Nice and tall. And release the arms. Lower the leg to the floor. Let's take the second side. So we're pushing the floor away. Standing tall. versus not pushing the floor away when we're sinking. So that push really will get the standing knee to straighten. Let's release. First side again. This time we'll keep a hand on the waist and then bring the opposite hand to the big toe. Now some friends are going to be able to reach the big toe. Other friends are going to want to strap here. We're going to extend the leg out. Pull the shoulder blade onto the back. Foot comes forward. And then we'll take it out to the side. I really like to get that inner spiral, push down and then rotate the glute under, hand to the waist again. Hold 3, hold 2, and 1, and then bring the leg forward. We're going to swap hands. So watch how we do this. The knee could be bent. Bring the left hand to the waist, right hand across the outside edge of the foot, and then take your gaze to the side wall. Full twist, left to right, and the arm comes back. 2, if you want to take your gaze back, that would be an extra advanced challenge. 1, and again, a hand to the wall is going to be very helpful here. Bring it back to center, cross the hands in front, raise the leg, bend the knee, and gently come all the way back down. Shake the hips out. We're only doing this 1 time each side. So then we'll take it to the floor and actively work on koundinyasana 2. I don't know the English word for it. So we're going to shift the weight now to the left leg. Right knee comes into the floor as you press through the left leg. More importantly, just finding a good progression that works for you. You could stay here. Bringing the shin from horizontal to vertical is a progression. So hug that knee in. Bringing the foot from a bent to slightly bent is a progression. To all the way straight is again a progression. To the side wall is a progression. Anchoring down and keeping the standing leg straight is a progression. Tucking the right glute or left glute, a progression. Again, anywhere along that chain, stay in that area that's challenging for you. And then we're going to bring the leg back to center, cross the hands, and again, you could have a bent knee right here, and then open to the side wall. Any progression that's challenging for you, let's take that. Our gaze to the side wall, and then that extra challenge of taking the hand back and looking towards the back wall. And I have the advantage of fingertips on the wall, so it gives me some support and confidence in my stance. And as I rotate the head back, eyeballs come forward, left hand crossing to the right or to the left leg, and then bend the knee and release all the way down. Shake the hips out. They get a little bit cranked up, just slightly. Let's take our first arm balance as a crow pose or kakasana. Kakasana, that's how I remember it. I'm going to rotate through the wrist, making a fist. Take your stance with a slightly wider than hip distance and turn the toes out. Bring the arms overhead in on an inhale, a high V, and on exhale, I'm going to touch the elbow to the knee. If your heels are coming up in this position, I'm going to invite you to grab a blanket or a block or something that you can slide underneath the heel. I'll show you with a pillow, which isn't very sturdy, but if I had a pillow, I would take my heels and raise the heels. Okay, arms overhead, exhale, bend the knees. Makes it a little bit easier Okay, inhale, raise up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift again. Exhale, bend and hold. Then you're going to bring the elbow inside the knee, one, and press the knee wider. Opposite elbow inside the knee, and then lower the hips. So the heels are still on the pillow. I've done this twice today. I'm really tired there. Let's turn the feet out. Parallel. Inhale, lift the heart forward. Exhale, drop in and down. Inhale, lift the heart forward again in a flat back. Turn the heels in, toes out. With the hands on the floor, bend the knees. Shift the weight back into the heels, all the way back. Keep the weight back in the heels, and then bend into malasana again. We'll do that a couple of times. So we really get the stretch in the inner groin, the stretch through the low back that we really need. Push the floor away, turn the heels out, parallel to the toes, lift the torso, exhale, round it down and in. Inhale, lift, exhale, heels in, bend the knees and lower down. Again, inhale, lift the hips, charge the heart forward, parallel feet. Exhale, in a forward fold. Inhale, a half lift. Turn the heels out. So the shift is every time we come into malasana and out of malasana. One more time. Inhale, hips lift. Push the floor away, feet parallel. Exhale, bring the heart towards the thigh in a forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, heels in, toes out. And come into malasana. We're going to stay here. Palms together, knees wide. Pressing, and then bring your hands apart. So we're in this posture. We're going to shift the weight forward, come up onto the balls of the feet. So you're on the tippy toes. Bend the elbows so we're at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to shift to the side. You can see this from the side. So we're up on the toes. Knees are into the armpit here. Hands spread wide. And then I'm going to shift the weight forward. So as I'm in a chaturanga position in the arms, the weight of my body is pressing straight down through the forearms and spread through the palm of the hand out through the fingertips. Push the floor away. That will lift your elbow up, and the knee pushes down into the elbow. And the feet may or may not lift off the ground. It can stay on the ground, great. They can lift off the ground, great. Hold that position wherever that's at, that progression, for 5 breaths. So you build the strength. Don't come down, hold it, hold it. Even if the feet are on the ground, don't back off. Keep the weight fully expressed into the palm of the hand. Push the pads of the fingers, build the strength, and then slowly and gently come back out into a squat. Rotate through the wrists, plant the hands and step back into a downward facing dog. Well done. And breathe. Awesome. Bring the knees to the floor. We'll sit back on the heels in a screaming toe. Any version of screaming toe that you'd like to take. Interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, and then take the arms straight overhead. Biceps to the ears, squeeze in, press up, and draw the ribs towards the back body. Hiya. Bring the hands to your heart center. Say hi. Say bye.
Bye.
Oh, turn around and say hi.
Bye.
Okay.
Come on. Hi. Hi.
Interlace the fingers, opposite thumb forward, and extend overhead. We're still in screaming toe. Palms are to the sky, and then exhale. Let's come out of that. Release the feet back to the floor. And give a little shake out. Take a downward facing dog. Excellent. Raise the right leg to the sky, and then inhale, koundinyasana 2. We're going to bring the knee in to the right elbow. Take it straight back up, and the knee to the left elbow. Extend from here, the right leg all the way out to the side. We're going to spin the back heel to the floor with the toes pointing to the left. Push down through the arm and raise it up. We're going to come back to center. Lower down to the earth, hip, chest, thigh. Weight off of the arms and hands. Raise the back heel and then pull that heel to the right. Press your right heel to the left. So the back top leg is pulling back. Hamstring curl. Release. Free up the right leg. So eventually we come into that posture as well. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Left leg to the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Pull it all the way through. Same knee to elbow. Lift up to the sky. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. And extend the leg forward. Reach the right arm to the sky here. Exhale, lower back down. Bring it cross. So the hip comes down. And lower the chest and chin. Raise the back leg and then scoot the heel towards midline. We're really hugging and squeezing to midline. There's a slight twist in the waist. This looks like an earlier posture we did when we were standing. If you remember that Padangustasana with the twist, then come back up. Padangustasana. Let's step all the way back into downward facing dog again. Okay, step your right hand to the middle of the mat, raise the right leg. Now we're going to step forward with the right foot coming outside the right hand, pinky finger. Lower the hip here. Scoot the right arm underneath the right leg. And then walk the right foot forward. Press down on the tricep with your hamstring. Push up into the hamstring with the elbow and see if you can just get the top leg, the front leg to extend forward, or bring your tippy toes off the ground for a breath or two. We're down in that chaturanga again. Friends who want to lift the back leg, you're going to shift forward and bring the back leg off. And then we'll release. Step it all the way back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the knees to the floor. Sit the hips all the way back onto the heels. I know, that's a lot of effort. Palms together and straight back. And we'll take that on the second side, being aware of the mobility and strength of your own arms and build upon that. We're not trying to tear anything down, we're trying to build it up. So that might take some baby progressions for some friends, okay? Especially if this is new for you. This is a pretty difficult class that we're doing, pretty intense. We turn the toes under, start in downward facing dog. Step your left hand to the middle of the mat, raise the left leg. And then step the left leg all the way forward. Top of the mat. Bend the elbows and bring your left arm underneath the left leg. So the shoulder here back leg's extended. The hands are even with the foot, and then we bend the elbows and get in a crouch. And press the back of the hamstring into the elbow and scoot your left foot forward, extending the leg. You keep the back leg on, or if you'd like to move just slightly forward and then balance, the back leg elevates, holding 3, 2, wherever you're at, 1, and then release. The leg comes all the way around, back into a downward facing dog. Great job. Breathe in, breathe out, and we're going to come to the floor. So feet to or through your hands, come to seated position on the mat. Excellent. Take a deep breath in, bend the knees, lean forward. Take the hands here. So top of the feet, we're going to press the gas pedal forward with the right foot. Stretch the whole arm, shoulder, wrist out, and then bring it back. Step the brake pedal with the left foot. I know we just say step on the gas. The left foot, and then come back to center. So chest, ribs are on the thigh. We're going to scoot the hips back, keep the chest, ribs on the thigh. If they start to part like this, then scoot it back in. You want the sit bones back, the tilt of the pelvic bowl forward, hands to the feet again, step on the gas pedal, right side, and pull back, left side, and pull back. So I'm not getting a full stretch. We're going to do this a third time. Stay where you're at, or if you'd like to take the hips back even more. There's still a slight bend in the knee, chest still on the thigh, wherever you're at. Now step on the gas pedal. One more time. And release, and the other foot. And release. Take it all the way over. Full forward fold. 5 breaths here. Keeping the ribs and the hip close to the thigh. And then slowly work your way back up. I just have one more arm balance, I think, from each side. And this is a really fun one. If your wrists are okay to do this, then you can hang with me on this one. If not, then it's just a very playful way of putting 3 of our arm balancings together. So we'll bring the right knee up into the chest. You can hold here. So there's so many options for you to stay up. The second one is right arm in. We're going to lift the right leg and pull it right onto the shoulder. So I'm going to hug the foot in. That's the second progression. Hold here. And if you want to extend the leg and get that deeper stretch through the hamstring, you can, or bring it in. We're squeezing the calf around the arm. The hands are going to be hip in line with the hip or slightly forward. Pressing down, we're going to lift the hips. That's a third progression. Squeeze the knee. If you want to lift the leg off the ground, you can. And then wrap ankles together. And then shoot the feet out to the side and come into a chaturanga. And the last effort here is to bring the bottom leg through and take that koundinyasana posture again. And then step it all the way back into a downward facing dog, or come to seated from wherever you're at, because we're going to shoot the feet through and come back into seated. Okay, so it's not that we need to go and do all of those postures. We're coming into a version that suits your body to progress into more inner strength. So just stay with it, breathe with it, no forcing. Okay. Second side. I'm going to turn towards you, and I will not be, just so you can see what this looks like, but I'll be on the opposite leg, so I won't be mirroring you. We'll bring the left knee in. And again, this is the first progression. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. This whole sequence has 3 more arm balances. We're taking the more difficult ones and leaving some of the others out. Next time we meet, Tuesday, we'll probably swap that. So you have some gifts in here that you can work on. So we'll take the left arm underneath the calf, take a hold of the ankle, and I'm going to pull that ankle in and then squeeze the calf around the upper arm and shoulder. Okay, this is the second progression. You can hold it right here. Try to upright or lengthen the spine. Okay, I'm going to pull the right hand over the top of the foot, and then again find some extension. Really helps me open up and find the power of the hamstring. Close it back up again. The balance here is hands on either side of the hip. Then we push the floor away to lift the hip. See if you can just get that much. So we shift forward, sit bones back. We're pulling the belly in, hands down, and lift the hip. If you want to bring the leg off, you can. And then cross, right leg on top of the left, and I'm going to shoot the legs out. Bend the elbows and tip forward into chaturanga. And the final step is to bring the top leg, extend it back, koundinyasana. I'm bending the back leg because I'm hitting the wall. And then finally come back into a downward facing dog. And you completed that whole trip around the sun, the solar plexus, and the knees, and shoot through again. Awesome job. So everything circling around the center, solar plexus, our inner strength, confidence. So from here, let's extend the legs out. Again, bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, elbows together, and make a figure 8. There's a lot on the wrist, and reverse the figure 8 action. And shading the movement from the pinky side instead of the thumb side. Coordination, and shake it out. Very nice. Let's bring the right knee in, open to the side. We're going to make a wide angle here. Bring the hands forward and lean into it. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Perhaps the elbows come to the earth. Keep the left knee towards the ceiling. Holding strong. And then come back up. Let's take a little stretch towards the back knee, and then bring it forward towards the front straight leg. And again, inhale, vertical with the spine, exhale, up and over. Inhale, vertical with the spine, exhale, lay it over in a horizontal position. Hold here, inhale, open the right arm. So keep the left hand on the shin. Exhale, pancake the hands together. Inhale, open right arm. Exhale, twist through the waist. Pull the left sit bone back. One more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Our right hand over the left ankle, and then shift forward, grabbing onto the ankle, take the forehead towards the shin. In this position here, sometimes it's really helpful to have a fist anchored underneath the knee, so the knee can be bent, but still have some a stabilization or something to push against. I like that so much. You could roll a towel up if you'd like. Now my leg is going straight with the forehead to the shin. So some friends are going to feel more pull in that inner tendon. We don't want to pull the tendon. So that's where you want to prop the knee up and place something underneath it. Make sure that you're tender with yourself and giving it the love it needs through all of the progressions. We'll lift back up to standing, bring the bent knee across the straight leg, hug the chest towards the thigh, and then we'll reach behind in a twisting Marichyasana or half-lord fish pose. Let's see. Ardha Matsyendrasana, that's it, sorry. Release forward. Release the knee and let it fall open gently. So we have a figure 4 here. Any props you need to make that comfortable, go for it. Let's lean forward. This puts a lot of pressure on the quad and it anchors the quad into the floor. That's going to increase your hamstring stretch. And for those folks who have really tight hamstrings, again, pull something under the knee so it's not pulling the tendons. Otherwise, we're bringing the head to the shin again, reaching opposite hand to foot. And I get a really awesome QL stretch and into the hip. Some friends are going to feel it more in your hamstring, and it'll be impossible to get into that hip unless we prop the knee up. So go ahead and do that. Let's come back to center, straighten the right leg. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite leg. So left knee comes in, opens to the side wall. We'll take a diagonal position with the shoulders straight through the width of the legs and lean forward. Awesome. 75 minutes. We've got 5 more minutes, I think, to go, possibly 7. Inhale, let's come back up. Oh, that feels so awesome. Plant the hand behind the bent knee. Raise the right arm up and over. Inhale, back to vertical with the spine. Exhale, up and over, straight leg. Inhale, straight spine. If you feel like every time you come vertical, you're rounding in this low back, keep the hands on the earth and then just take one arm up and then you bring it back. You're kickstanding yourself to give support to the spine and then bending the elbow and reaching the opposite arm over. See if that doesn't feel better to you. Okay, then you can do either option. Hand behind, lift left arm up. I'll show this option. This time, one more. And exhale. And then we'll bring the right hand inside the left shin. Left arm opens to the side wall. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the palms together and twist through the waist. Inhale. Exhale. Twist through the waist. Palms together. Inhale one more time. And exhale. I like to bring my foot down towards the knee a little bit as well, especially when I'm twisting the torso towards the straight leg. Then across, left arm over the right shin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, slide forward, leaning forward with the heart. Wrap the hands around. the sole of the foot. And bring the forehead to the shin. So we take this in a second version where the ankle's crossed over the thigh in a moment. If this one feels better to you, stay here. Or revisit it when we come to the figure 4. So we come back up. We're going to lift the bent knee and cross it over. So we're stepping onto the left foot now. Vertical through the shin, lift vertically through the spine, hook the elbow across the knee, and then twist to look over your left shoulder. And give your eyeballs some action, looking back, looking forward, looking back. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then return to the center. Now we're coming into that figure 4. So the knee that's bent just simply drops towards the floor. That raises the blade side of your left foot. You can slide a block under there for support, or just use the hand on the sole of the foot and push the hand into the foot, foot into the hand. Inhale, lift, and exhale, take it over. I'm going to reach opposite hand around the ankle, shin, or foot. And take a full dip in the water, forehead down towards the shin. Full expression of really opening the hip. And again, remember, there's the option of supporting the back of the leg by bringing something underneath the knee. Don't forget to love yourself free versus forcing yourself into a box or fitting in some way. You don't need to do that. Let's come back to center. Uncross the legs on your back. Take it all the way. Releasing, knees together, and release. Breath. Holding onto the tops of the knees. Let's rotate in a circle. Release. The lower lumbar. Release. Relax. And then circle the other direction. Lovely. I have an easier version of this class out on YouTube. If you care to look for that, it's going to be labeled Cultivate Inner Strength, and it might be floor work. Okay. So from here, I put it out. Actually, I'll put it out today, but it was from last night, so it'll be a version of this class, shorter and a little bit easier. Okay, with the feet to the ground, drop your knees over to the left, take the arms out, just roll the head side to side. Easy spinal twist, releasing the low back. And bring the knees back to center. Drop over to your right side. And the head still relaxed and rolling. We want to release the neck and shoulders from any anxiety, any tension, and come back to center. And then extend the heels into the corner pocket of your mat. Relax the arms open. And if you feel like, oh, there was so much challenge in this class, that's great. This was on purpose. Come in and do the class again and see if it gets easier. 3 times a week, 3 weeks in a row, you're going to find you can really build some inner strength. So let's right here, let go, let yourself surrender into the floor, deep shavasana. Let the body summarize the class today and really rest into the floor. You've earned Shavasana today. It's the kind of reflective listening that allows us to make change. Did we put any too much pressure on the wrist, too much in the low back, too much anywhere, or was it just right? And playing that edge of inner strength and building without tearing down or causing injury. Cultivate inner strength to find the power within to create unity in our community. Right action. Able to feel our own empowerment so we can better our world and better the world around us. Unity is a powerful virtue. It brings great strength. It's inclusive. It brings people together. We see our commonality without devaluing our differences. We experience our connectedness with all people in all life. Unity frees us from the divisiveness of prejudice and heals our fears and wounds. We refuse to engage in conflict when we are in unity, seeking peace at all circumstances. Unity, of course, comes when we value every person in our family, in our world, in our surroundings, our community. The joy of one is the joy of all. The hurt of one is the hurt of all. The honor of one is the honor of all. Take a deep breath, hook the thumbs overhead, stretch it out. Let the belly fall again. Wiggle the fingers, toes. Rotate through the ankles and wrists. As you take several more breaths, initiating full communion and union of the breath and body, coming back into space and time. Roll to one side in fetal position and pause for an acknowledgement. Deep gratitude and grace to oneself and how you showed up today. And help yourself to seated posture, hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Take the powerful seal of protection with the right wrist in front of the left as you're looking towards your hands. And then back of the hands coming towards each other like a magnet. Curl the right pinky finger around the left. Curl the right middle finger around the left. Curl the right pointer finger around the left. Then bring the thumb and ring finger together, heart center. Avaya Hridaya, fearless heart. It takes courage, fearlessness, heart-centered action to appropriate change. May we be the change that unifies the world, the change in ourselves to see the change in the world to unify us all. This is my commitment and heart banner that I unfurl for the justice and freedom of all as we roll from June into July, our independence. May we be sovereign in our will to move forward with peace as a collective. Bring the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for this journey together. We rise above our own insecurities and self-doubt to be the fearless warriors of peace in the world. Namaste.